Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy, and yet another Monday live stream. Hopefully you guys had some good sales this weekend. Sales were solid for us. Just seems like the only kind of hiccup we've had was on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we already went down that road. So we're not looking back. We're looking forward to good sales and getting through the summer months. I think I'm very, like I said before, I think I'm very surprised with how sales have been for us here. I'm curious on how the summer is treating you guys. So halfway through July, that's a good thing, right? So today I want to talk to you, just kind of discuss the USPS Ground Advantage. And I'm starting to think that it's maybe a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. But before we get off on our live stream and talking about the topic at hand, I want to kind of allow people to get rolling in here. I was late, and I can imagine that people might be late rolling in. So if you're watching with us on the live stream, make sure that you comment and ask your questions in the chat. Even those of you who are kind of like hiding behind the live stream, and maybe you're working behind the scenes. It's just, dropping in and, contributing to the program, making what it is. I can't do it all. So I need you guys to drop on in and say hi. And you know what? It's good to hear from some new people anyway. If you're not watching this live, you're watching it after the fact, that's okay. Comment down below. Maybe you have a question you can help answer, or maybe you have something to contribute to the conversation. But regardless of how you're watching the program, make sure you're hitting the like button. That helps drive the algorithm on YouTube and tells the world that, hey, we have a pretty good community here. And I'm sure there's many, many resellers that wish they knew about this live stream. So real quick before we start, I don't want it to go away here. I want to thank you to Guide Guru. Thanks for all you do, guys. Thank you. Certainly appreciate the super chat. It's certainly never expected, but you know what? I do thank you for contributing to just forget the super chat, the fact that you're here all the time and you're part of this community. So thank you so much for that. But really, real quick, and I'll get off my soapbox. This won't be very long. I got a call from Archie this morning. We were talking like we usually do.
Surprise.
Yeah. And, he's like, you know what? I really like this Ground Advantage. He's telling me how he thinks that he can maybe save some money on shipping and, and pass the savings over to his buyer. So, you have a price sensitive buyer that maybe you're used to using UPS for your larger packages, maybe FedEx. And maybe you are used to maybe charging a flat $15 rate, and maybe you're able to make $1 here, and maybe you're over about $1. So, and it all evens itself out. Well, what I've noticed is depending on where the item's going and how large it is, that in some cases Ground Advantage is lower than those options, and it can save you a little bit of money. And then over time that can add up. And my only thought on that, and my only pushback to Archie, was that, if you go in and say, okay, we're going to start shipping with Ground Advantage in the listing, that it may add an extra day to the arrival time, that range of dates they give the buyer when they're considering buying your item. And if buyers are anything like me, I'm considering that in my purchase. I might even be willing to pay an extra $1 or $2 to get it tomorrow versus 2 days from then.
That's mine.
And so I'm sure we're not the only ones. So I don't know, guys. I think otherwise the $100 insurance that you're given, I think, and you're not paying for that. I mean, that's included in the price of the label. The prices are very comparable when you're dealing with under £1. First class, I think it's very comparable to what it was. And like I mentioned earlier, I think it's very competitive to current FedEx and UPS rates. And, with this impending strike, something I was going to make a little video about here probably tonight to put out tomorrow to kind of give everyone an update on that and what's going on. But with the possibility of a strike with UPS, it gives you another option than maybe just FedEx, because I know, nobody uses DHL, if we're being honest with ourselves. Maybe you do, but rarely does anyone do that. And it gives you just another option to ship larger items without paying a really, really high priority mail rate on that package. So just my 2 cents on that. Want to know what you guys think. Are you pushing a lot of your packages over that way? Are you migrating away from priority mail to a Ground Advantage? I know some people are talking about that. And do you think that the extra day, usually it's about an extra day on the arrival time, the range of dates that eBay gives, do you think that that's going to sort of impact at all your sales if you make that change? So just want to hear what your thoughts are down below. And, I have my thoughts, but I use this platform as sort of listening to your thoughts on a particular topic. And believe it or not, you guys make some good points, and it really sways sometimes how I look at a certain thing. So I'm still using Fedex for a lot of our larger items. With the rates that I have, it's still better than UPS and or Ground Advantage. But lack of having that type of arrangement, I really think Ground Advantage is a pretty good value, and it's better than better than what it was. And that was always the fear. That's always the fear when USPS gets in and starts changing things with their services. We're always thinking that, oh boy, here we go. We're going to be paying more. You get less service, slower package delivery times. Now that part of the equation, the package delivery times, I guess we're out to lunch on still. It's still too early to know. I mean, we're only a week in and packages are just showing up, from when we first launched this thing. But as we get going and we hear either complaints or we hear nothing about the delivery part of it, then that'll kind of really either solidify what I'm thinking here, that it's probably a really good service, or it's probably going to be one of those things where, guys, you might want to proceed with caution. So I guess time will tell on that one. So who do we have here today? We've got PJ's Ecom 2050. Thanks for being here. We've got Brian H. says, hello, John and Jen and everyone. Hope your temps are cooling down some after the hot weekend. No, it was supposed to rain. 115. Yeah, it's supposed to rain.
That's not right.
No, it's not. Mm-hmm. No. Well, it's not supposed to rain?
No, it is supposed to rain, but the temp is on your.
Oh, yeah. That's wrong. Never right. But
it's 115 currently. Yesterday, 116.
Generally, when it gets this hot, usually this is an August thing where clouds start rolling in from like Arizona, and we get the monsoon, like thunderstorm rains, the like flash floods and stuff. And
we're okay with it.
I'm fine with that. I
love it.
I mean, you'll catch me like, oh, it's raining. I'll run outside,
I'll open the garage door and
I'll
stand
just
in it.
Raise my hands to the skies and get drenched, and I love it. So we don't have a swimming pool here, so that's the closest thing I'm going to get to a diving board. So, good thing it's not happening now. You might see me run out during the live stream.
No, you wouldn't.
So we got Flippin' Con Marco says, hey, John and Jenna and the rest of the FAE. Hope everyone had an awesome weekend. I'm looking forward to opening up a mystery box I bought and forgot about. It arrived today. Hope it has some good goodies to resell. Awesome. So
a mystery box.
So
you gotta let us know what came in it.
What kind of see? That's the thing. I always think of mystery boxes as being something that people just don't want. It's like I have a
Well, I think that's how
crap.
You do your mystery box.
I have never done a mystery box.
I know, but when we talked about it in the previous house, I remember having a conversation.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just gonna make mystery boxes, eBay mystery boxes, and get rid of this crap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but that's not really right, because we're giving away just absolute junk.
Yeah. So it never happened. But I'd like to know what kind of stuff you're able to find. So if you can
open
share
it now.
Well,
we want to know.
Okay. But we won't be able to see it. Lenny K says hello from North New Hampshire. Slow sales Sunday and Monday.
Ooh.
So hopefully your sales get better. I mean, I can't complain, and I'm just simply trying to outpace my sales for my listings. I know that doesn't sound difficult, but jumping around doing all kinds of things, my sales have been really strong. So it's something that I plan on kind of diving a little deeper into as we kind of move forward. I have a lot of video ideas right now that I want to get out, but it's just a matter of time and putting it all out and everything. PTS Treasures is in the house. Thanks for being here. We have Victor Wawiorka. Thanks for being here, Victor. Andy's in the house from Indiana. What's shaking?
What's shaking?
Oh, it ain't the screen that you're looking at, because we still have to adjust the height.
Yeah, I'm not completely happy with the way this is looking.
Yeah, it's going to be changed.
I look like I'm like a dwarf down on the ground. I mean, I am short, but Jesus.
Yeah, we just got to look up to you guys right there, and it's almost like if you ever watch Commonwealth Picker, his videos, he's always like looking up to the sky and talking to the audience. So that's kind of what it feels like right now. But just taking the time to lower the
I was watching him this morning.
The deal, yeah, lower the shelf that I have up on the wall, and everything will be fine. So talk about things a lot, and I don't always get the chance to do it. So here comes my little deal for Clark County, saying severe thunderstorm coming. So I swear to you, if it says that it's happening, I'm gonna have to get out there and get wet. Mike says, hi everyone, hope everyone's Monday is doing good as it can be. Getting a lot of things done on the listing side and stuff today, so that's always a plus when you happen to have a Monday where you had a lot of packages. Thankfully, we won't be disrupted today by FedEx or USPS coming to the door, because they've already picked up.
I'm so happy. And we have a new FedEx driver, and he was pretty good.
Well, he was dropping off something, and that's the only reason. He said, it was like about noon, and they're supposed to come between 2 and 5. He said, do you have anything? It's like, well, we got a ton. So he dropped off his item. It was a return, and he took about 20 big packages. So I felt bad because the guy, it's his job, but he's going back and forth to the truck with hauling these huge boxes. But it is what it is.
We finally sold that the storage thing that goes underneath your dryer.
Well, it doesn't even store anything. It's just a platform. It's made by Samsung, and it's like a 12-inch boost platform, so that your dryer or washing machine can be a little higher up.
Yeah.
And
but it's huge. It's obviously the dimensions of your washer or dryer, and it's gigantic, and it's been taking up a lot of space in the garage.
Yeah.
So we're like, yes, it's sold.
And I picked that thing up about 2.5 months ago, and I spent literally $2 for it. And the comps were showing like $75. And here I am, and I think it was like $80 free shipping on one of them, but I don't do free shipping. And so I tried to play around with the $60 level. I went down to 50. I think we initially, we had it at 70 something bucks, and it came down to like 35 plus shipping, and someone bought it. So we kept bringing the prices down. So, I'm into over a 10X flip on that even then, but I'm not going to buy any more of those until I get more room. It's just, they don't sell very fast. They're not fast enough for me. So it's one of those buys where I learn. And
it's one of those buys where you take a chance and you buy low and you hopefully sell high, and it see how it does. And if it does great and it sells fast, then you buy it again. But then if it doesn't, then
I find myself making purchase decisions a little differently than if I had a warehouse or dedicated a little bit more room to dedicate to having kind of stock just sitting for someone to buy. I find that I pass up on a lot of stuff that I could be buying, and my main thought is, if I had more room, I'd buy it. Let's move on. So maybe that'll change down the road, but I'm happy with where we're at with the sales, and couldn't be any better. If you would have asked me months ago what I thought I'd be doing in the summer, it would be nowhere near what we're doing right now. So I'm just going to keep plugging away, doing what we're doing.
We're just thanking Jesus.
Flippin' Con Marco says, hope everyone is staying cool. I went to visit my family in my hometown in South Texas. 116 on Saturday.
Yeah, I heard it's like walking through the depths of where.
Janet's in the house. Hi from Georgia. Last name sounds like Hyder. Thanks, Janet Hader. Sorry. I had it right. It was Hyder. I said Hyder. You said Hader. You corrected me. I thought it was Hyder, and it's right. So, see, I was right all this time.
I was wrong.
Yeah. Wait, we got to get that on recording.
It's already recording.
Callie Deb says, yeah, good chance for El Nino to visit this year, especially in our California coast.
Yeah, we've had it.
Like
many El Ninos.
Mike's in the house. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Hey,
appreciate you being here and tuning in PTS Treasure says we've been getting a good amount of rain here in North Carolina, just not enough to cool down tremendously. But the problem is when the rain is gone, you get that humidity, and that's like, ugh.
Yeah, I'll never forget that summer we went.
Truman 316. Hello all. I hope everyone has a great weekend of killing it, dragging it home. John and Jenna, I'm liking the Ground Advantage so far, especially through pirate ship cubic shipping. Yeah, that's another thing. Cubic shipping is something that's been around for a long time. And it's more of, if you have that item that's like, say, in a 10 by 10 by 10 box, more like a cube than a rectangle, you'll find that you're going to get better rates. Also, your soft pack is what they call it, but it's your bag and your box in a bag type of thing or your item in a bag where it still resembles an envelope of some sort, even though it's a larger one. And that's a good way to ship as well. Biscuit Butt in the house. Thanks for being here. I think we saw
no, we didn't.
Devon, huh?
Devon.
Yeah. I just said that. We've got Prosser. Thanks for being here, Prosser. Nice to see you.
It's so nice to see you.
And then Tommy says, are we doing the top 25 best Icelandic resellers? I gotta say, I was a bit disappointed. I don't know if Roman's with us or not, but I really thought it was going to be I thought we were going to see like the big names, the big names in the reselling. Right. And it's like, ooh, I'm eight. And it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm 8. But
did he do it in an order?
He did kind of do it in an order.
I think he started off in an order, but then he just started rambling.
Yeah. But, that's Roman. But it was kind of funny. We were kind of laughing about it. Yeah. But, that takes a lot of guts, I think, to get up here and say, here are the YouTubers that I think are like the best. But he kind of put a spin on it, with the women that were involved. So if you have a channel and there's no women involved, you weren't going to be on that list. So good thing I hired you here a few months back.
Where's my pay? I want back pay.
Look, I'd rather pay you than have to talk you into it. Like I've been having to talk you into, really thinking about being part of the channel a little bit more, which I don't know what you guys think. I think that she would do good being part of the channel a little bit more going forward. So she's just like, I don't know. But I'm like, okay, well.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm not a, camera kind of talker. I can talk great when we're not filming. But as soon as I know there's a camera there,
yeah, that's me every day.
Because I have a foul mouth. I have to watch what I say, and it's just not me. So
she's afraid of us getting demonetized.
I don't want to offend anybody.
You know what? You say that, but for many years you worked in the call center and you had to have a filter. So
I did, yeah.
So you learned that filter is ingrained in you after a while, that you can't just say
no, I can put a filter on when I need to, but sometimes it just does slip out. We could be filming a video and I'd be like, off.
Then I hit the edit button. That's all. That's what you edit those things out. So yeah. So hopefully Roman will come out with some more updated top 25s. But if he did, and I want to thank Roman for the super chat.
Roman,
go check out his channel, guys. He's trying to grow his channel. He's getting more people on his lives. So he said Archie told me that John and Jenna, him and Tommy should have been number 1 on my list. Oh man, I think you should put together the top 25 YouTubers that need to continue to put out content, and then you can put Tommy on that list. You could put Biscuit Butt on that list.
Yeah.
So the top 25 YouTubers that failed us and didn't give us any more content, disappointed us by not giving out any more content. We do miss Tommy's live streams, and hopefully he can figure that out and get back into
I never got to watch Tommy, and I went back to try and watch some videos. And
you talk about, I don't think he has a filter.
Just imagine.
He doesn't have a filter on.
It's hysterical.
Yeah, it's a lot of subjects.
Maybe he got
topics.
Just totally demonetized.
No, I think his co-host left.
Oh,
said I'm out.
Tracy.
Yeah. but I don't know what that was all about. But maybe he'll explain in the chat. I don't know. Guide Guru says people still send me fast shipping feedback on my Ground Advantage, so no issues there so far.
Oh, good.
But the concern that I have is, let's say you are calculating shipping off of UPS, and you do a UPS calculated shipping, and then you send Ground Advantage to save a few bucks. How many people are going to be kind of put off by that, especially if UPS is saying that it's going to be here Tuesday and it doesn't get here to Wednesday or Thursday? That might be an issue. Eddie Estrada says, spent the weekend organizing and cleaning out my eBay garage unit or storage unit, added new inventory as well, bulking up the store for back to school sales in August. So that's thinking ahead, thinking forward, and it's a good mindset to get into. And pretty soon we'll be into buying stuff for Halloween and Christmas, right? Now for me, probably not too much for Halloween. I mean, I still have that bunny rabbit that's hasn't been purchased yet.
Nobody's bought it.
Nobody's bought it yet. You know, so I don't know. Maybe that's just going to be my stick. Maybe I'm just going to.
Maybe that's his Halloween video.
Maybe.
Sorry, guys. You get to see another rabbit.
Kate Picker says, "Hi everyone. Sales are still bad for me. Oh well, I'm trying to stay positive."
Yeah, that's all you can do, and keep listing. That's really all you can do.
But it's also the mindset. That's where you want to start, right? But it's taking action on that. So being positive can only take you so far. It keeps you in the game, right? It keeps you from walking away. It keeps you from quitting. But you got to find something to do with that. You need to do a lot of things with your account. Do different things with your account. We talk about buying different things to resell, but it's also handling your current listings a little differently. Maybe your price.
Go in and tweak the price by even a penny sometimes, or
Well, I like to add that boost on a weekly basis. The end items sell similar. I think there's something to it to get that new boost.
Well, there is. As soon as he does it, I know it because I get his sale.
Yeah. Biscuit Butt says, "Hey Sandra, you'll get the tape when John pronounces your name right 10 times." So we had someone, what Sandra says, oh, when will my tape arrive?
Tape?
Huh?
Did she win tape?
I think she won tape, but you have to go on and place your order with, if you want a code. So if you won,
where's the list?
Here's a plug chance here. So American Bubble Boy, this is just my stuff, but I don't open it because I like to use it as a prompt.
Yeah.
These guys are good people.
Sandra, I sent you an email.
Yeah.
From the flippinaneasy2020@gmail.com
email,
and it has a code inside. So you're going to click the link and use the code that's provided in the email. So I sent that to you on the day of the giveaway.
With the American Bubble Boy stuff, the tape, anyone who's won a prize like Sandra did with that, there's a code that we send, and you go on American Bubble Boy, order the proper 6-pack of tape, whatever it is, and then they'll send it out to you. Yeah. So that was kind of the setup on that one.
Yeah. And while we're on the subject, Constance Robinson. Yes. I don't see her in the chat right now, but we're still waiting on an email. I think she's spelling it incorrectly, or I don't see her in the chat. However,
she usually
I'm just trying to think of another way to get it to her. If you could maybe tag your maybe an Instagram handle, or I've tried looking you up on social media and I can't find you.
Well,
either.
It's okay. We'll just see if she shows up in the live reminder again. But it's one of those things where we're mailing out a football case, and we got to just know where to send it, that type of thing. So Guy Guru says, people still send me fast shipping feedback on my Ground Advantage, but I wanted to read it again.
I
wanted to read it again. Jimmy D says, 107 in Waco, Texas, on mobile, live in rural country and have wireless and IP provider. Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's melted, huh? So,
I hear Texas it's real bad because of the humidity.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with that. Yeah. Lenny Case has got my sale for hitting the like button. So hit that like button, guys. Again, there's no rhyme or reason with it. Chalk it up there with a lot of the things that we think are happening, but may or may not be happening behind the scenes. and that is hit the like button, and you are going to get a sale within the next 24 hours. I just don't know how it works.
It works.
A rural squirrel says, I offer the buyer an option for priority in my listings in case they won't or they want it faster.
Yeah.
Good idea on that. But if you're paying for the actual, maybe it's built into the cost of your sale, maybe you're doing free shipping. I think it's a little different. You get more. I think it's good to have another option to where, maybe you thought you were going to ship it priority, and now that they're on the other side from you and it was going to be a lot more than you thought it was going to be, well, maybe you can go in and use the Ground Advantage that way to save you a couple bucks. Liz Shirley says, I want to give my buyers the option of priority or Ground Advantage and to figure out how to set up my policies to offer it. And I have never given an option. I think the fewer options, the better. You kind of just tell them this is what it is. For me, that's worked, but I'm sure there is definitely a way you can go in there and set up a secondary shipping method, but I never really have. Lilac Seller Meg is in the house. Thanks for being here. Hopefully, you did say you got the gift card, so hopefully you put it to pretty good use there.
Yeah.
David says, hello, everybody. Hello, John and Jenna. Thanks for being here, David.
Hi, David.
And then Prosper says, hey, all, here a shocker. I'm giving up the reselling and going back to project management, working remotely online as we're soon to be moving to boat life.
Oh,
boat life. I hope you fish, because that is pretty cool. But
that takes commitment. I don't know that I could be on a boat.
I'm hopeful hopefully the boat life thing is by choice though. But yeah, awesome. That sounds pretty fun. Let's see.
With his health concerns, I completely understand why.
I can just imagine, getting up in the morning and just the peace that you get from just.
I just was telling him yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to. They're going to go golfing while I'm in.
She said trying to.
What?
You said he's going to try to go golfing.
Oh, he is going golfing, but his buddy is trying to book it at a golf course that's by the beach. And I'm like, man, I want to go to the beach. It's been years since I've been to the beach. It brings me so much peace.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to go to the beach.
Well, we'll work that out. I'm sure. Would you rather go to the beach or you want to go to this concert?
Oh, no, I'm going to the concert. Okay. The T-shirts are done, and I'm super excited.
Yeah. So Callie Deb says, I'm migrating to Ground Advantage almost entirely. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with the rates that they're offering. They had a problem with it last weekend. They resolved it, and the rates are really reasonable now. Tommy says, nope, won't touch Ground Advantage. Search rank is king. And I agree. I think anything you do that hinders your searchability, like your best match search, and eBay does take into account when the buyer is going to receive the item, which is why some people will say, I want to have 1, 2, or 3 day handling. To me, it's same day. I'm doing same day. I have a cutoff set, 9 a.m. for me. So if you get the order in before 9 a.m., it's going out today. That does help in the search algorithm. It also does help them calculate an earlier arrival time, delivery time for the package. So if you're using shipping options that get the item there later and you're advertising that in your listing, well, it certainly is something the buyer is going to consider. I think a lot of times as sellers, we need to do a better job of thinking as a buyer when we're putting our listings together.
I always do.
Think as a buyer. Think, what is my buyer going to think when they see my listing? Are they going to be willing to wait an extra few days because I want to save a couple bucks on the label, or are they going to move on? And I think sometimes we wonder, I get a lot of views on my items, but I'm not getting any sales. Well, it could be little things like that are causing your buyer to click away.
Yeah, because me as a buyer, I want it here tomorrow, and I'll pay $2, $3, $5 more just to be able to have that luxury, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I do that all the time with Amazon. I really do. If I can get an item delivered tomorrow, which they're very good at, I have Prime and everything, then maybe I don't even need it tomorrow, but I want it tomorrow. and just the way I am, it's the way I'm kind of hardwired. And there's this generation has grown up with not a whole lot of patience because everything is today. And that's just the way it is.
It's kind of sad, but it's just the way life is now.
And then we wonder why there's not a whole lot. Well, part of it is because eBay doesn't do a good job of advertising to the younger generations. But even then, it's like, why would I order it from eBay and get it like in 5 days when I can get it on Amazon Prime for like in 24 hours? So that's kind of what you're dealing with, that mindset. And I think if we're not thinking along those lines as a buyer, we could be just not even knowing that we're causing our sales to drop because people are clicking off of our items, or not even clicking at all if they see the date on there.
Yep. That's all. When I was looking for cowboy boots, I went on eBay and I was looking at the delivery dates, estimated delivery dates, and I'm like, well, that's after the concert, so I'm like, no.
Yeah. So like, let's say, you know what would be kind of cool? I'm going to a concert this weekend. I didn't even think about it. Maybe I want some new cowboy boots, right? Maybe the ones that I had, I just pulled them out of the closet because I'm getting ready for this trip and they're kind of sad. So maybe I get a new pair, but I don't need them after this weekend. So you just move on. You go on to so you got to think of it in terms of what is your potential buyer? What are they thinking when they're clicking on your item? And like Tommy said, it will hurt your search rank because it does put that into consideration. Chastity Grant says anything over £1, they get an option of Ground Advantage or Priority, but I find Priority has cost me less than shipments going closer to me. Yeah, any state that's in your vicinity, maybe one state away, you're going to get very comparable rates. You might save a few cents with Ground Advantage, but you're probably better off just going with Priority anyway. Lenny says, I still don't trust USPS if they get overwhelmed. Well, they came out and said that with this impending strike with UPS, that they're thinking that they're going to be able to handle it. So I guess we'll see, right? They've been able to handle the last couple holidays okay. So we'll see, right? Maybe technology has evolved in such a way over the last few years where the stuff that they were dealing with a couple of years ago, anyone remember, what was it, 2020 holidays, Christmas time?
Oh my God.
Where people were losing packages and stuff.
That was a nightmare.
So maybe they've made changes internally that's kind of prevented that kind of stuff from happening when the loads get higher. So we'll see. Biff says, so far, Georgia is the same cost as the old, or Ground Advantage is the same cost as the old first class. You guys, I have a hard enough time reading English, common English words, and then you start throwing curveballs at me. So far, Ground Advantage is the same cost as the old first class, so it's no different for me. I don't think USPS piles all the Ground Advantage together. I believe they still use their old first class infrastructure on the shipping end. It really is not going to be that different. I know that someone said that the processing is they're going to be processed a little bit different. But yeah, it's like, anybody watching the shows know that I'm going to have some problems here. You throw curves at me, it's like anything can happen. I started looking at GA Georgia, and I'm like, what state is FC? I don't know what state FC is in. I'm like, okay, wait, he's talking about something totally different. Savage Picker says, I switched over to paid shipping instead of free. Very good. I like that. Good. I'm using Priority Media and the new Ground Advantage. So far, so good. So yes, your $20 item free shipping, you're going to have to back down the price, right? So it's still reasonable. Your item plus the new shipping is included. But if they decide to send it back, you're not obligated to return the amount that you charge them for shipping unless you did like an INAD or something like that. Terry Chilikas says, hello, peeps. Happy Monday. Well, thanks for being here, Terry. Nice to see you.
Hi. Welcome.
Mike, Dixie Flipper. I'm doing all Ground Advantage. I've even found that it's sometimes cheaper than media mail, and it's show a faster delivery time. Yeah, media mail is going to be the slower of the two options for sure. Guy Guru says, let me ask you guys, if you use Ground Advantage, doesn't that take your listing off of top rated? No. But I mean, it may lower your ranking in search. eBay does look at that as one of the factors. So many factors
But
that eBay looks at.
I don't understand.
Because they want to be able to promote or put the items that are going to get the buyer the best shipping or the best buying experience. The best buying experience involves receiving the item faster or as fast as possible. And so that's all kind of figured in: your price, your photos, your listing quality, your account health. These are all things that kind of go into this algorithm, and it sorts it all out, and boom, it puts out the items in search based on all those factors.
I get it. I mean, so they don't want us to use Ground
No.
Advantage? They look at it as a negative?
No, I'm not saying that. It's not looked at as a negative, but if you look at when she does a lot of the, we do
I
our
just
shipping.
do the packing. I don't do the numbers.
So she's out in the garage. She's doing the packing. She's putting everything together, labeling everything. So I know how much it weighs and everything. I pull the stuff out of the garage. I get in here and boom, I run the labels. So she doesn't really run the labels at all, especially lately since Ground Advantage has been implemented. Yeah. So it's one of those things where the Ground Advantage is almost always going to add at least another day to your shipping time. And it's advertised like that as well. So when you compare the two, you're like, well, this one's a few dollars more, but it's going to get it there earlier. And I can see if you have it built into your item cost, or if you just offer standard shipping, and put it all under one, like set standard shipping under a flat rate, then you have the ability to make the choice that's best for you, because it's going to be advertised as like 1 to 5 days, I think, for standard shipping anyway. But if you say I got UPS and I'm going to save a few bucks and go Ground Advantage, then you got a problem. So you don't want to do that either. And so I think you're kind of in a catch-22 where you want to utilize Ground Advantage, but you don't want it to hurt your ranking. I think you just have to sort of evaluate that and see where it puts you. And that's why, it's always a good idea to maybe look at your items when you're signed out on another browser, and as if a buyer was looking for your item, to see where you pop up in search and see if that affects you at all. Art says, can you give them an option on priority advantage? You can put a secondary shipping option in there if you want. And I just don't do it. I usually give a flat rate, or I just do a calculated rate with what I'm already doing. I think
that's why I'm I'm no longer confused. However, we use calculated, and it's whatever is in the thing, whatever's the lowest I go by. I don't get into all the technical BS, and I just want to know what's the cheapest rate. I don't care what it is.
So Thomas says, nope, Biff, the whole sort has been changed. My post office doesn't even start local anymore. Everything local priority and Ground Advantage go in the same bins and get sorted out at the hub now. Yeah. So I don't really, to me as a seller, I mean, I guess it's good to know what goes on at USPS behind the scenes, but for me, just as long as it's getting there, that's all I care. It's funny. I had a buyer who reached out to me over the weekend. They bought an item Friday night, and then the Saturday evening, actually Sunday morning, they sent me a message saying, how come my item hasn't been shipped yet? I'm like, oh, wait.
Can we have a break?
But then I said, we ship Monday through Friday. I said anything purchased Friday afternoon, evening gets shipped out on Monday. We don't ship out on weekends.
And you were notified that when you bought the item.
But then the buyer came back and said, oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of another item I bought. I bought a few items and I got the wrong one. Okay, well, that's fine. So, but people do look at that. People do consider that. And, I got good metrics when it comes to items arriving on time. And I don't want to mess with that and building up expectations and then saving $2. And, here comes my item, 2 days later because I wanted to save a couple bucks. Process, I was forced to reevaluate life choices after the near-death experience. Time to follow dreams before it's too late.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I understand what you're saying, and I definitely think that's the right thing. I got to tell you, you can take that same mindset when it comes to deciding. There's like a lot of this talk. ADH Dave came out with a video, and I think a rebuttal was put out by Harry Tornado. Many of you probably seen it, about, you know what, quitting your job and quitting a 6-figure job to do all this stuff. And there's so many things. I mean, we tend to focus on the monetary side of things, but you guys just don't know. At least in my situation, I had a good job in management, and the stress level was just too much. I mean, it was literally making me physically ill, you know, because there's so many things you have to put up with, other people that want to, you know, other managers above you that aren't over you, that think that they can
sabotage your life
and rattle you, even though, you know, they know they're not supposed to be doing it. There's little side things like that. And you don't have those problems when you're doing this. I mean, you have other problems, but I think most of those problems is a you issue, how you manage yourself and you manage your time, you manage how you list, how you do the business, where there's nobody over your shoulders when you're, you know, doing this full time. And like Prosser says, you know, to reevaluate, I definitely think, you know, there's life experiences that I think take a little bit more importance than, you know, well, maybe I should pack away. I mean, what's going to happen with all that money anyway? You're just going to end up, I mean, maybe you're going to leave it for your kids and all that, but you can't take the toys with you, right? So
can't take the toys, can't take the money, can't take none of it.
So you have one chance to do this, and the last thing you want to do is have regrets, right? Like, I wish I would have spent the last 2 years of my life, or 5 years, or 10 years of my life doing the things that I wanted to do. And those 10 years are going to go by fast. And you're not going to, by doing this, you're not going to regret it. I don't think. As long as you have the means to do it, that's the key. Let's see. Biscuit Butt says top rated is determined by the metrics. Yes, I agree with that. All the little things kind of add up. Not one thing over another. I mean, you could be doing almost everything right and then use Ground Advantage. It's not going to kill you that bad, but it's just helpful to do as many things right as you can in the eyes of the algorithm. Fierce Monkey Biz says, hi all, had to switch channels. LOL. Was Terry now fierce? Hoping my listing magically changed. So was Terry now fierce? I don't remember that one, but Fierce Monkey Biz I remember. That's, I think, a little catchier than the other one.
Oh, okay.
You remember?
I do.
Okay. I don't. I have a good memory, but it's short.
I have a terrible memory.
Tommy Bernard says, yes, Art, but buyer can only see what you add first, and that's also what Best Match uses for rank. XDS36X says, my sales came to a halt, nothing since Friday, so I'm liking this video. Yes, but don't smash the like button. Just hit it once, because if you hit it more than once, it kind of turns it on and off, and we don't want to do that. Amazon Seller says, just get Jenna a taller chair.
This is the tallest it goes. Oh,
well,
buy me another one?
So like one of these here when they
I have gone through chairs, let me tell you. I have had so many chairs.
I think the next chair I'm going to buy is I like this brand. It's called Razor. Okay. Problem is their chair is like $500 or $600. Yeah. I come across them every so often for cheaper than that. And I think the next time I might consider it. When you're sitting here in the summertime, even with fans on you, and you're sitting on this leather chair, you sweat.
Mm-hmm. And he literally gets up and he's walking into the kitchen, and I know he hasn't been in the garage.
And she's like, is that Mickey Mouse on your back?
What is on your, why are you all wet? He's like, because I've been sitting in that sweaty ass chair.
When did you get a Mickey Mouse shirt? So Steve Posti says, Steve is here. It's 80 some degrees here with 80 some percent humidity. Get wet without the rain. Yeah, that's, you step outside and it takes your breath away.
Yeah, it's terrible. I don't, just so the dogs could go outside to use the restroom, I had to water everything down so that their feet wouldn't burn. It was terrible.
Lenny K says, the Tommy Bernard podcast I just watched, YouTube from 2 years ago when Candace started with shed flips. That was neat to see years later. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. I do check out Shed Flips channel every so often. Ping G's in the house. Hello, John and Jenna.
Hi,
thanks for being here, Ping. Liz Shirley says, clicking on your like button really worked for me last week with several sales on Etsy and one sale on eBay.
Woo! So, yes, see, it works. We don't know why. There is no science to it. but it works.
eBay will not make your buyers buy your item, but hitting the like button will.
Yeah.
You can believe that if you want. Let's see.
Some kind of sorcery.
Comment said when we had Lonnie on. So yeah, that was Lonnie and Candace on Shed Flips. Let's see. And then process anyways. I can work remotely. Still going to stick with that and follow my dreams. There you go.
Good for you.
There you go. Devon says, or Devin says, I do know. Devon, I'm going to get that wrong, guys. I'm just going to get it wrong.
It's like Yvonne, but it's Devon.
Okay. I do not know if eBay is having a glitch. I was going through my listings and saw an item listed 3 times. This has been going on for a long time, and it's not really, it just happens where sometimes you'll have items like either listed, delisted, in your case, listed 3 times. Are you using a third-party listing program? That could be it too. But see, eBay is supposed to stop you from listing a duplicate listing.
Yeah.
Now there is a duplicate listing tool. You can go in, and I don't know if I have the URL to share with you. Let's see if I can look it up here. Maybe I'll try to find it in duplicate listing scanner. Yeah, here it is. It is isdntek.com.
Copy it and put it in the thing.
Okay, I'll let you guys copy, and I will paste it in the chat. And that tool will allow you to put in a store name or a seller name. So like in my case, I'll put value trends, eBay site, US, UK, whatever. And then you get items, and it says it'll take some time. It says, of all my listings that are processed, duplicates were not detected. So it's a good idea. Good idea to run that every so often just to make sure you're not in that situation, because you don't want to sell more items than you have in stock. That's not a good thing, because eBay is not going to admit to a glitch. That's for sure.
She said no third party. eBay lists it when it ends. We've had that happen.
So if you are having a problem with that, start using that tool and just do it. Maybe if it continues to happen, then you're going to need to get a tech on it. Contact eBay and have them look into it for you. Biscuit says there's a glitch with eBay. They're defaulting sold items to ship to media mail. Be careful. And then let's see what else I have here. Unicorn Museum says, hey all, so proud of myself. I remember today is Monday. Yeah, as a reseller, you get these days, they tend to mesh together. Yeah. And especially when you don't leave the house often, which is pretty sad, but it is what it is. MK7 says, hey. Thanks for being here. Guy Guru says, Pirate Ship has cubic rate and ground advantage. No, cubic would be under the priority side of things. So those two aren't the same. Kevin says, good evening. It has been raining a lot here in Lakeland, Florida. It has been hard for me to work this summer. I know I was out in Florida a couple of years ago. Actually, I say couple. It's actually been 2018 and 5 years ago. And I can remember August, September, you get those storms that just pop up out of nowhere, and it's just hard to get out and that stickiness. Matt Bennett says, yeah, that's not what cubic shipping means. Are you referring to what I said or what someone else said? Because I've used cubic shipping many times. It's a way to, and Pirate Ship does this. You can't get it on eBay. Where we used it a lot. Where it's more based on the weight than. Well, actually, I take that back. It's more based on the dimensions than the weight. So you can have something that would normally be like 5 to 10 pounds. Heck, there's all kinds of different examples. But let's say you have a trailer hitch, because I had a box of those before. Those things are heavy, and like 10 pounds, and you got it in a 10 by 10 by 10 box. Well, if you send it by regular priority mail, where you're paying based on the 10-pound weight, but if you send it by cubic, you're basically paying based on that 10 by 10 by 10 box. It's more focused on the dimensions than the weight, which is how it's able to get you a better price.
Read the next comment right under that.
Devon said, John said it right, my name.
I was wrong again. That's twice in one video, you guys. That sucks.
This is such a good day.
I'm sorry.
This is a great day for me. We need to put it on the calendar that Jenna's been wrong
video,
twice.
Video camera.
So
recorded.
So am I saying it right? Devin.
Devin.
Yes. Awesome.
I'll look for the answer.
Let's see here if I got any more new ones. Oh, I have Jessica Cunningham. Thanks for being here. Something was funny, but
Probably when you said Georgia.
Anytime Picker Roman says, I will do another serious list with Archie on Saturday. Yeah, do one for your top 10 biscuit butt videos. I want to see that.
Wow.
I want to see that one.
I swear we love Archie. We just give him a lot of
I give him flack because I don't want it to be one of those things. Any of you guys know Biscuit Butt is Archie, and he is like the super fan of YouTube eBay channels. He is like the biggest fan of almost every channel, to the point where he's like, he does the whole member thing, and I don't know if he does the whole daily refinement $39.95 a month.
He better not, because if he comes over,
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised with that. But with that said, he goes like a year between videos, and it's like he just made a video, and it's like, cool, he's gonna get on to his next one, and it's like, where's the next video? Or you're trying to talk him into like, yeah, I make great content for another video, and he doesn't do it. I don't know. I'm just disappointed. But I'd like, maybe in 3 years you'll have enough content to make a top 10 for it.
Wow.
I'm such a bad friend.
Archie says you better stop.
Tommy says the second time we had Pete Craigslist Hunter on Lenny or Lonnie was one of the best. He dropped some gems about scaling the business. If you ever are bored, give that one a watch. I'll have to check that out. I have watched some of your lives before, but I just want to see some new content. I want to see some new lives. Hopefully you guys kind of get that going.
What's going on, Tommy? Slacking.
Roman says, after that list, me and Archie will be living in Las Vegas tunnel for the rest of our lives. And you know what? For those of you who don't know anything about Las Vegas, there are tunnels large tunnels underneath like a lot of Las Vegas and under the Strip. And
it's called the Underground City. And
there's like a lot of homeless that live in there, and they go in, they literally make like the homes out of like stuff they find,
all kinds of material.
And the problem with that is that when you get these monsoons that roll in out of nowhere and drop a lot of rain, it causes flooding down in there. It's because what it's for. It's a runoff that takes all the rain and sends it to Lake Mead. Well, unfortunately, it does kill people every year because. But that's pretty crazy. You ever get a chance?
Sad, but it's. I watched a full documentary on it. It's pretty crazy, actually.
There's people that make videos. They go down there and they meet people and stuff, and it's pretty crazy. Let's see. Tony Resell says, hi everyone. Thanks for being here, Tony. Nice to see you. Jovial's here, but
wait, you know who we haven't seen in like 3 lives?
Who's that?
No One Design too.
Yeah, what happened to No One Design?
Is he on vacation?
I don't know.
I sure hope that's the case and not anything else.
MK7 says, love the channel. Absolutely has been helpful. Full-time eBay since February and scraping by. It gets better each week. I appreciate y'all's advice and help with navigating my eBay adventures.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. It's good to not be on a channel.
In the beginning, but you just got to keep going.
Yeah, going full-time to from a job to full-time is one of those things where it's very scary because you don't quite know your way. You tend to think, well, this could work for me, and then you find out it doesn't. Then you're scrambling around to find something, because it was working good for us in 2019 into 2020, and then liquidation got bad. Buying pallets got kind of bad, and it took us a good 2 years to really get back and find our way as far as getting really good income in this thing. So just keep your head up and keep looking at channels and that you can trust, and take bits and pieces of what they're doing and try to incorporate it.
No one strategy is for everybody.
No, it's impossible. Mark Suddick says, hi, John and Jenna and all. Jenna, your hair looks great today.
Thank you, Mark.
No one ever comments on my hair.
Spent a little bit of time on it.
Let's see.
I got a diet tonight, though.
Tommy says, I paid her too much. I think he meant Tracy, right? She's building a mansion in Texas now.
You keep saying that, but I mean...
The Starlink Canal streaming, we will be back. Wow. Flippin' Sports Guy says, "Oh, Jenna's hair is done. Does that mean John is taking you out to dinner after the show?"
No, it's just because I wanted to do it.
It's Monday. She enjoys.
That's so sad.
You know, it's really funny because, you know, Mondays and Fridays, she will spend hours with her war paint and her hair. And
it is not. He's such an exaggerator.
Okay.
You are such an exaggerator.
Okay. Let's see. Thomas says, I paid her too much. We knew about that. Let's see. Henri Squaw says, good weekend sales. Ground Advantage seems to be quick for me. eBay International is slow and the tracking is funny. Yeah, I'm out of that international shipping game with eBay. I do my own through Pirate Ship, but guys, my stuff is so heavy that most people aren't going to buy it.
Buys it overseas.
Reno's in the house. Need to hit the bins.
Reno.
The problem with hitting the bins is you're probably going to get hit while you're at the bins, which is why we haven't been to the bins in a long time. But for me, and that's not a joke, that's the truth, because I accidentally hit someone with a. Well, I didn't do it on purpose. It was in the bin. It was like this big piece of furniture that fell on that. Remember that piece of furniture that fell on that lady as she was walking by? Yeah, it fell on the lady, hit her in the back, and she like looked back at me like I didn't do it. But you know, you can get hurt there.
Yeah.
And not to mention someone at the door. Not to mention the fact that you know, you can get cut if you don't bring, and I don't like to bring gloves and stuff, but you can get cut when you're digging through the bins. So the bins isn't my favorite place. And thankfully, you know, when you're sourcing well, you don't have to do other things to get merchandise. So that's kind of my thing right now. I haven't been to the bins in a while. Jessica Cunningham says, good advice. Well, hopefully there's some good advice coming out of here. Flippin' Sports Guy says, wait, did I see Roman got told to stay away from kids again? Wow. Tracy said, the truth is my OnlyFans really took off. Now I'm trying to recruit Jenna and her beautiful, filthy mouth. Tommy can wait. Wow. Well, I'll let Jenna see that comment because I'm sure she'll be like, let's do a live stream together where we just say whatever's on our mind. I'm sure that'll go over pretty well. Biscuit Butt says, Kevin told his daughter she's not allowed to follow Roman on Instagram. Wow. And then Sandra wants the code. Okay, so we'll have to resend. If you check your email, maybe check your spam. Look for Flippin' Ain't Easy 2020 because that's where it would have come from. Dixie Flipper says, I've already started to buy for Christmas. Spent about $50 on 26 Christmas Village figurines. Looked like a $250 in profit. So that's pretty good. Get those things up. Let's see. Trying to get to some new folks. Here's Kyle B. Says, eBay sent me a survey today asking why I'm not in the international program. They asked for names of YouTube channels I watch to get info on eBay. That's crazy that they would ask you that. What eBay knows what channels are out there. I'm sure that they're in tune with even the smallest channels. They have a group of media, social media team that looks at that stuff. But
the thunder rolls.
So look at Tracy had to say. Go back. The truth is, my OnlyFans really took off. Now I'm trying to recruit Jenna for her beautiful, filthy mouth.
Yeah, I pretty much would satisfy that need for your channel.
Yeah, I think it'd be demonetized as long as you guys are willing to do it for free. Piggy Ricky says, I got a negative today. Buyer got upset that his item did not arrive within the 3-day eBay told him. So I would think that would fall under out of your control. And I would go in and say, per eBay policy, you know, we did ship it on the date that we were required to ship it. And unfortunately, it didn't arrive due to, circumstances out of my control. And please remove the negative feedback. And they'll look into it. If they're doing a job, they'll look into it, make sure you shipped it out on time, and they should remove it. Box Bear says, we get a bigger discount on priority, but Ground Advantage benefits both seller and buyer. I dig it. Yeah, I think that as long as, you know, your buyer's good with it, they're not expecting something different, then I think overall from what I've seen is good. Now saying that, my luck, they're going to start delivering smash packages, and things are going to be arriving really late. You're going to get a lot of lost packages now showing up with Ground Advantage, just because I said how great it looks to be. But let's hope that part of it doesn't come true, that things are going to fall into place and the deliveries are going to be as expected. Because if you think about it, they're attaching $100 in insurance to that. Now, I did read that not eBay, but the Postal Service has already started playing games. So somebody shipped a package. They had a $500 insurance on it. They paid extra. They also had signature on it, and the package they put as delivered without getting the signature. Buyer stated they never got it, and they were on the hook to repay the money. Apparently, according to this thing here, the claim was put in for lost package, and a USPS denied it because they couldn't provide a PayPal receipt. Now, you guys know that PayPal has been used for many, many years as the way we get paid. The only thing that they could provide was the managed payments receipt, and that wasn't acceptable. And they even wrote their congressperson who contacted media relations or something from eBay, contacted them and said, well, we need PayPal. I mean, are you not, and it wasn't eBay, it was USPS that contacted them saying we need a PayPal receipt, not eBay. It's like, okay, you guys are way lost on this. There is no PayPal receipt. Let's see. Oh, really?
Rain and thunder outside.
Am I supposed to run outside?
Well, you said you were going to.
I need to, but I'll wait. Tony Resell says, I'm thinking of giving up, but I love doing it. Doing what? Maybe
Resells.
Okay. Well, that may not be it. You might be talking to someone else here. Second Wind Resale says, I'm very happy with the change. So far, getting a lot of good, positive comments from people with the Ground Advantage. So we'll see. I guess I'll give it another couple weeks before I give you my final verdict on that.
And as soon as you give a final verdict, it'll be
here comes Christmas,
will
and
happen.
It's going to get all screwed up again. Biscuit Butt says maybe the Tommy Bernard podcast would have lasted if it was named the Tracy Parks podcast. Oh boy,
it probably would have. I agree.
So Tommy says, so far the people giving the option of priority and Ground Advantage that I personally speak with have had 0 orders, all priority, or 0 Ground Advantage orders, all priority. Yeah, because it's going to get there at least a day faster in most cases if you send it priority mail. Unicorn Museums has always shipped some or same or the next day, always, but I am set to 2 days because I'm afraid that one time I'll mess up and ship late. Mistake? ? Well, I think it is. If you're full-time, it's a mistake. To me, there's really no reason why you can't have built into your daily routine a shipping process. And for us, that shipping process is twofold. We ship all of our orders up until, let's say, the night before. We'll ship all of our orders that we have, so we don't have to be bombarded the next day. Then we get up the next morning, we hit the residual ones, and we ship anything up to 9 a.m. In fact, sometimes we'll get orders that are like 10 a.m. and we'll still ship those out that same day, even though eBay's expecting.
If I'm still in there working, then it's going out because I want that thing cleared.
Yeah. Now, if you're doing it part-time and you have a 9 to 5, you have another part-time job you're dealing with, and that's a little different. Maybe you're dealing with all kinds of things, kids and work, and eBay is sort of a secondary thing. Then I get it. But I think that everything that you do that adds more time to your shipping, whether it's the service you choose to ship with, or the amount of time you give yourself to ship an item out, is a turnoff to the buyer and the algorithm. So I would start looking at it as, what would my buyer want me? What would be the perfect listing to my buyer? Would it be, this is a great item, but you ain't getting it till next Monday, or this is a great item, but I get it to you by the weekend? I think most people would take option B over the first one, and it may be easier for you. But that's why I talk about a lot. You got to get out of your comfort zone And it ain't just about what you're selling. It's about how you're approaching your business. So you know what? It ain't comfortable to say, well, I just got the sale at 9 a.m. and I need to get it out today. It ain't comfortable, especially when you want to be listing, right? I've got other things that I want to do today, but you're doing that. I'm convinced that a big reason why I'm getting great sales that I do, I think that's one factor in there. If I had 3-day handling, I don't think I'd get as many sales. Now, there's people that'll say, I have 3-day handling and I kill it. Well, how much better would you be killing it if you had same day or 1 day even? I don't think anyone's going to hold, there's no one out there saying, well, it's better to do 3-day than 1 day. I mean, there's people trying to justify why they're on 3 days, why it doesn't make a difference. I'm here to tell you, it is a difference. Your buyers are looking at your listing and they're comparing it to other listings. And if all the listings said 3-day, then it's not a big deal. But if there's other people that are willing to get it to them faster and or they're located closer to them, which is going to get it faster, then you're up against the 8 ball as it pertains to getting the sale. That buyer is going to go somewhere else more than likely if they're paying attention. So that's just my 2 cents on that. I think it's a big deal. I really think that, yes, it has a lot to do with what you're selling, but it also has to do with all the intangibles within what you're trying to sell the buyer. Picky Ricky says, I do have 1 day, but often ship same day. I just don't want to be pressured to do same day in case I can't keep up. But that's a good problem, right? So at what point, you got to think to yourself, what is my max? What is 10 items shipping out a day your maximum? At what, I mean, for some it would be. I mean, us, it's more than that. I mean, I'd say for us, it's like 30 or 40 items would be like to the point where we're like, okay, now this is taking a lot more of my time, right? But even then, I don't think I'd change a thing. You just need to figure out what your schedule looks like.
Sometimes you have to modify the way that the hours that you put into your shipping. I mean, you start it at night and then finish it in the morning, or do it all in the morning and spend, depending on how many you have sold, spend time shipping, however long that takes you. That's why I took the burden of doing the shipping, so that he could spend the time doing the listing. Because you all know I hate listing, and I would prefer to do shipping and keep that away. Even though he runs the labels, it doesn't take that much time for him to do so.
Right.
And so, I mean, even if and when, so I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but if, things get bigger and we have a lot more to ship, then I will get the printer and just start running labels too.
Yeah.
There's always ways to keep up with it for us. It gets a little over. Last night when I was in the garage, it was 116 degrees and I was sweating in every place.
And our AC turned off.
In the garage stopped. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. But let me just say this, guys. And everyone's situation's unique. And Picky Ricky, this is not in any way, shape, or form directed to you, because I don't know your situation. But I think this is a question that everyone has to ask themselves. And that is, how serious are you about what you're doing with reselling? If it's just a side thing and like, look, I got other things. I got my full-time job. I got my family. I got my other things. This is kind of an extra. Then you're not going to be as serious as someone that's full-time. But if you are doing this full-time and this is your livelihood, you need to get yourself serious about making these things a priority. Improving your processes, I think, is improving your turnaround times. Yes, I think for many, including myself, shipping is a pain in the butt. I'd rather list than ship. There's people that'd rather ship than list. But it's all part of the process. You can't just do this business saying, okay, I get to go out and buy stuff at the yard sale this weekend and then bring it home and then you do nothing else. You have to treat it all with the same level of importance. And I think that even if you have 1 day, 2 day, or 3 day and you're full-time, I think you're not uncomfortable enough, in my opinion, not knowing your situation. just putting it out there. Maybe you just don't have the ability to. But if you have the ability to, and you're just on cruise control, I think you're leaving a lot of opportunity on the table, because the more you get uncomfortable, like I did earlier this year with my sourcing and everything.
And how bad could it be to need? Okay, so you don't want to feel the pressure. So the pressure of getting it out by, let's say, like for us, they have a cutoff of 9 a.m. If they order at 8:59, that's guaranteed to go out. And if it's 9:01, I don't have to feel the pressure to get it out.
Right.
But of course, if I'm still in there shipping, it's going out.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't see.
Well, there are times where we have, let's say, a lot of stuff to ship, and maybe we don't get, something comes up. Let's say, like, okay, this weekend we're going to be doing the California thing, which is why on Friday we're going to have the show on Thursday, not Friday this week, which is something I'm going to talk about at the end of the show. But when we get back home late Sunday night, we probably aren't going to be feeling like doing a whole lot of packages, but we're probably going to have a lot of sales because I'm not turning my store off. So Monday, we're going to get up and we're going to be doing a lot of shipping and knowing when your carriers arrive. So I have my FedEx carrier scheduled from 2 to 5. My mail carrier can show up anytime afternoon.
She just comes whenever she feels like it. And
right.
If she doesn't want to come, she doesn't either.
So I'm going to identify, okay, which items are more than likely going to go by US mail. And we're going to work on those first because I know that I have a 2 to 5 p.m. window. As long as I get all my FedEx items done by 2, then we're good because they're not supposed to be here until 2. Now, today they came early to drop off a package. And I said, well, I already have it if you want to save yourself a trip. But they were going to come back at 2 o'clock because they know they can't come earlier than that unless I tell them it's okay. So I have that in the back of my mind. So you got to work it out so that you're not feeling pressured and you have a system in place. And I think once you get a system in place, then I think you're going to be okay. And you won't feel nearly as stressed out about it. Okay, what else do we have here? Mel Martin says, hi all, can camera film be considered media? Okay, so it can as long as there's nothing on it. From what I understand, that's the way it is. Well, now, camera film, well, if it's used like camera film, if it's partially used, I think that, I don't know, maybe, now I'm guessing. So I'm just putting a caveat there. I've never sold a roll of camera film in my life. So that's a good question. But if I had to give you an answer, if a gun was put to my head, I would say you're probably okay with it. But anytime Picker says Mel, no.
Yeah.
So there you go. I just lost my life. I gave the wrong answer. Guy Greer says I was confused. It was handling time. Maybe I'm lost now.
Yeah,
but
you're just
I'm lost.
You throw yourself into conversations like you're
I throw
supposed
myself
to be there.
into the AB conversation,
And
so
you
I
need
need
to
to see my way out.
out.
Second Wind Resale says I have not seen a change in my sales using Ground Advantage. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a big deal.
Drastic.
But just know that there are buyers that will consider whether or not they're willing to wait an extra day for their item to arrive. MK7 says great to see you guys working together and making it such a great team. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You just got to see us
Most
working together when the camera's off.
Yeah. You want to tell them what you told me before we turned the camera on, before we went live?
Well, I'll tell you what I told you this morning. So you guys remember?
Oh, no.
You guys remember? Well, you guys remember, I think the last time we went live, I said, look, you cannot put an item in.
Here we go.
You cannot put an item from Poshmark in a priority mail bubble envelope because the labels that Poshmark gives you is just for a regular up to 5 pound parcel package. It's not designed for the flat rate things like the bubble envelope. So I tell her about it. I go in, I take it out of the envelope, I put it in one of the USPS boxes, and we slap the label on it, no problem. I told her, hey, you can't do that. So Today she gives me these kid size 5 shoes, and they're in the USPS box, and it's not a Poshmark, it's regular eBay stuff. And okay, these are going to go out. They're over a pound. It's going to be $12 to ship to the other side of the world. All you had to do is put these in a bubble mailer, a bubble flat rate envelope. So she's confused there. So I had to tell her.
I cannot. I physically, my brain cannot grasp it. I don't know why. I understand a lot of things, but I don't know why I cannot remember the whole shoe thing. Yeah. I just can't.
And she said to me, "I don't want to hear it."
Yeah, I was sweating in every place that I have.
Oh,
and it was hot, and I was irritated. I was towards the end, and then he comes in towards the end of the shipping debacle, and wants to scold me on this box thing, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to hear it.
I don't know how to
do it yourself.
Out. It's like you get posh mail. You get it's just one of those things. You get Poshmark, and it's handled differently than U.S. mail. You got to think of it in terms of Poshmark, because Poshmark is giving you a 5-pound label. If it's a pound, if it's 4 pounds, there's no need to put it in flat rate anything. The only reason why you're putting something into a flat rate envelope from USPS is to get that weight on a smaller item, so you're not being charged a higher price for that USPS box. Does that make sense?
We're going to have more of a discussion after this live, because I have a question and I don't understand.
I'd rather pay $8.30 for getting that item to fit in that envelope, that bubble envelope. Rather than
on eBay.
On eBay, right? But you're mixing up the two platforms.
Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, so I'm sure you're not the only one that's confused. That's all I'm saying. Andy says, I'm using Ground Advantage a lot now, but sometimes the buyer picks media mail as preferred.
We don't care what the customer pay or chooses. We put it in what's cheapest.
There's many times that I'll put, it's going to go FedEx, and they choose priority mail. I don't know, what goes beyond that, but I've never received any negative feedback or even a nasty message for anyone saying that. I did get one. I think I got one where it was getting mailed to a building that they're just a house they're building. And I guess U.S. Mail wasn't delivering there yet. And they had requested to go UPS. Oh, well, it didn't get delivered. So that was a problem. But 99.99% of the time, it's not going to be an issue if they prefer it one way, but you have it advertised as another. And then Gail Carlson says media mail is going up in price in the future, but I can tell you that they actually went up by 7%. At least that's what was supposed to happen with this last change on the 9th. So, and I think all of it's going to go up. Don't be surprised if Ground Advantage doesn't go up in the near future. I think that by rolling out what everyone was worried about, this new process would have been even worse if it was accompanied by rate increases.
I cannot wait till you get to these comments.
I know.
I just can't.
Thomas says Ground Advantage doesn't hurt you, but if the other sellers offer priority of the same item, all else equal, they will rank higher. Yes. And again, if they're looking at two different items or two the same item, and they're like the price is the same, the photos look the same, all the other intangibles look the same, but I can get this one a day faster by priority mail, and this one's going to be another day or two later. Well, I'm going to go with the one that gets it there faster. All right. Tommy says, you can't charge priority and ship Ground Advantage to make more money. You will have no account fast. Yeah, it'll catch up to you for sure. Tommy Bernard says, so the changes added a day to in-state deliveries, and our whole state is smaller than Las Vegas. The Outlaw Hustler says, hello, John was wondering, has anyone noticed the glitch with Ground Advantage on eBay? Glitch being for some reason, some of my Ground Advantage labels were charged to media mail or changed to media mail. That's interesting. That's so I'd report that if you can. But no, I haven't seen that one. But it's good that you're bringing it up so we can all kind of keep an eye out for that. I think I ran 2 Ground Advantage labels for everything we sold this weekend. Trying to catch up, guys. I promise. I know I'm behind. Rain Galaro says, or Galoro says, hello, everyone.
Rain.
Always late, but better late than never,
That's
right?
At least you're here.
That's right. Guy Guru says, you definitely have to be disciplined to do it full time. You also have to let yourself take a break.
Yes.
It's also a good idea to have something to look forward to. So I go out and play golf. I just ordered a brand new set of golf clubs.
What a debacle.
Yeah. So ordered a brand new set of clubs. They're coming in the mail, and
what if they arrive when we're not here?
It won't, because I'm calling them tomorrow. Okay. So what happened with that is, and just to kind of throw it out, it has something to do with shipping. They ran their label on Friday. It's coming from Scottsdale, Arizona. So they ran their label by FedEx on Friday, and it said estimated arrival Sunday. So Sunday came around, I checked the tracking, and it said waiting for shipper to drop off the item. So it's like, okay, they ran the label on Friday. They didn't drop anything off. So Monday morning, I called them up. I said, what gives? You guys didn't turn this in. You guys need to turn this package in so I can get my stuff, because I want it for this weekend when I go play golf. And like, well, they might pick it up today. So it's like, all right, fine. But, I don't know. We're not the only ones that have to deal with shipping. All these companies do as well. But I do look forward to little things like that. Buying things for yourself once in a while, going to the movie,
going to a concert.
There you go, right? You have something to look forward to. Because if you don't, it's like every day meshes within, like it kind of goes into the next day, and you forget what day of the week it is. And pretty soon, you do this for years, and you look back and you say, you know what? I did all this work and I have nothing to remember.
He gets out a lot more than I do, just because of his whole golf thing.
You can do more, but
like
I don't know.
I am not gonna golf.
That's up to you to figure out.
Not gonna golf. Okay.
But Box Bear says advantage and priority delivery times have averaged the same for me state to state. Thanks, guys, for your best, and I have leaned on so much for you guys. Be your own boss for life. Yes.
Aw.
Yes.
Thanks, Box Bear.
If I could go back, okay. See, here's the thing: when you have your 9-to-5 job, you're afraid of the unknown. I think it's really anything that you're afraid of. The unknown is very scary, and you have something like our job was very safe. It was we knew what we were going to be paid every week or every 2 weeks. And it was safe. We were able to pay our bills. We were able to do the things we want. We had 2 dedicated days off, maybe not the same days off, but each of us had days off. And that was comfortable. That was safe. And the idea of losing our jobs was frightening. It wasn't going to be something, I would still be working with the company if they didn't pull what they did. But for, we had to take the jump. It was all scary. So, it's just one of those things where if I could go back 5-10 years and do it all over again, I would do it, because you cannot put a price tag on your mental health. And I think for many people, showing up for work every day, being criticized every day by a boss who doesn't understand or couldn't do the same job that you're doing is demoralizing on its face. And it's just really hard to do. And I'm in this position now, and I feel so much better. I have so much more, I'm happier. It's just bottom line. I'm just happier. Mm-hmm. So, oh boy, here's no one design. Hey, JJ, on my mobile and hating it. Autocorrect can't keep up with J. My fat fingers. Just stop by to hit see ya next week. Wife decided to stay. And I feel like I feel like Roman's reading this. Stay cool. Bye, Jenna. Iced coffee.
Oh, we miss you.
Oh boy. Well, thanks for doing that. You didn't have to do it, but she will get some.
I want iced coffee.
She will get some Dutch Brothers.
I want Dutch Bros.
Yeah. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Mike says I would offer PSG and PM as 2 shipping options. Buyer would always choose PSG because it's cheaper. With our discount, it would be about the same as PM, priority mail. So I then upgrade the buyer to priority mail at no cost to me.
What is PSG?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Priority. Okay, you're gonna have to. You guys are really trying to trick me up. Because
this rarely happens.
It rarely
okay,
happens.
Rarely
happens.
So as many times as I was wrong in this live, when this happens,
I can't get the PSG because it actually is very close to the brand of golf clubs that I just ordered, and that's all I can think of. PXG.
PSG.
Yeah.
He might be getting confused with UPS Ground.
Okay, let me go to the next one. Devin says, love the FAE family.
Aww,
Actually,
we love you.
Now I'm saying it wrong. It's Devon.
No, it's
Devin.
I was wrong, remember?
Sorry. I don't know anymore. I'm so confused.
Thank you.
Let's see. Nick says, you were right about the promoted listings. I see suggested ad rates as high as 12.2%.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
And along with that, you're seeing, like in a lot of these forums, people are PO'd at who? They're not PO'd at eBay because the thought is that, it's these sellers that are just jacking up the rates. Well, I got news for you. It's not the sellers. It's being made up. Watch the video, but I was really kind of pumped up about that video, and it did pretty well. I was expecting a lot of people to come out saying, like, what are you crying about it for now, or this, that, and the other thing. But it is what it is. You guys got to know about it, and I'm glad to report it. Midnight Merchants says, happy flipping Monday, y'all. Yes. And then we have Duncan VR says, I gave up work 11 years ago to do eBay full time and never looked back. Working a paid job drains you. I remember back then struggling to go to work. Not anymore. Hit that like button, people. I remember many years ago, I lived up in the mountains for about a year. This is many, many years ago, like 2002, 2003. Yeah. That was BJ before Jenna. That was so bad. Here comes the comments.
Absolutely terrible. You're done.
So I would literally have to work on the weekends at 2:30 in the afternoon. 2:30 to 11 was my shift. And so I'm driving down the mountain. I had to drive past the lake, full of people on the lake, having a great time. And how demoralizing is that? I'm driving to work down a mountain, 45-minute drive, and then to drive back up at night in the fog and almost driving off the road, which is a totally different issue. That was horrible. I don't have to do that anymore. The job does drain you. There's so many things that just drain you. I mean, just remembering the commutes that I'd have to make to work, getting stuck in traffic, thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be late because of this car accident up ahead. Try to fire up ways to find alternate routes, right? Dealing with other people that you just can't stand being around because they're not very nice people to begin with. That type of thing. There's so many things that you have to deal with as an employee, as an employed person, that I'm so glad that I don't have to deal with anymore. Art says, thanks, Tommy. Did not know that, whatever that was. The Outlaw Hustler says, yes, not really surprised whenever there is a change. However, when I use bulk label purchase, I have to go down and look at each of my labels before I print. So I don't use that option. I just go one at a time, because she'll be out there. She'll do a package and she'll put it in the front of the door out in the garage. So I go out there, boom, pick up whatever she's done, bring it in here, and I'm running the labels. So I'm doing one label at a time. Let's see, go down here. Rodney Rivera says, does listing in different categories mess with your store visibility or metrics? I don't think so. No, every item is item specific or category specific. It doesn't matter. I think that having a niche does pay off because you have a lot of repeat buyers who know you sell that item, and they'll come back. If they had a good experience with you, they'll come back and buy from you again. You can send dedicated coupons. You can build up like a little community of people who will buy from you. But it has nothing to do with selling multiple items in different categories or anything like that. Jerry says, I'm having trouble trying to add a $10 flat shipping promotion on some of my listings When a buyer purchases 2 to 4 items, these are lightweight. It says total items on drop down shows fewer. Huh, interesting. Well, what I like to do is I'll just go ahead and tell them, go ahead and pay the shipping and I will adjust it and give you this much back. And, as long as it covers the amount that I'm paying, then I'm happy. Let's see. I'm just skipping through some guys, so I'm not trying to ignore anyone. I apologize. Tommy says, Rodney, eBay has something called back-end match that can decide it doesn't like your category and hide the listing. But to me, I think that is more of if you've listed an item in the wrong category, right? I think an example of that is people who, when adult items were banned from eBay, people are still trying to list those items under like baseball cards, right? And I think that would hurt you, but just by virtue of you selling different items in different categories, that's what I do. My sales are really good. Drunken Polar Bear says media mail happened to me today, had to cancel 8 labels.
Oh.
So if you come across that, of course, you should report that to eBay, but then go over to Pirate Ship and just run your labels. Link your eBay account to Pirate Ship so it pulls over your addresses and stuff for each item you've sold, and then run your labels through Pirate Ship and until they fix it. Jerry says, John, just put a towel in your leather chair. It works. Yeah.
I told him to do that.
But I don't want to make it hotter. It's like putting on a sweater. You're sitting here. Yeah, you'll still sweat, but you'll be hotter, I think. I don't know.
Maybe we'll put an ice pack there.
John Doe says, I mess up the leather in the chair. John Doe says, my other job can be quite stressful. I use heavy equipment and my coworkers walk near semis. If I mess up or don't keep watch of everyone around me, people can die.
Yeah.
He's up. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen on just a daily day of reselling? What's the worst?
Well,
you ship the wrong item to the wrong person. Like I have these 2 packages. I put this label here and this label there.
It's hurting myself in the garage. That's what happens to me on a daily basis.
Well, it's.
But no, that is a very stressful job, and you have to be very aware at all times.
Yeah, and you need some stress.
My dad was a truck driver, and I won't get into the long story, but he passed away due to negligence.
Yeah. 184 people watching us right now, guys.
Really?
Awesome. So hit the like button, guys. I'm telling you right now, you hit the like button, it just works out. It's karma. I don't know. You're going to get a sale. I don't know why. But
Jovial, cardboard cut. I was going to say that. Those are the worst.
You're not going to die from it. You are not going to die.
You may not die. Okay, you're not going to die. That's dramatic. But my fingers.
Maybe if you get it infected, you don't take care of it, you could lose a finger or something.
Yeah, but no, John Doe has.
Truman says, I am still hearing sellers having issues with GSP, Global Shipping Program, flagged restricting items for certain countries, the items being taken down, the seller being warned not to relist. Yeah, it's not global shipping. It's the EIS, eBay International Shipping, but it's the same thing. They want you to police your listings and not ship things that are restricted. I'm not going to play their game. I'm not going to bother signing up for it. Now, someone asked me about, do you know if the sales are still slow for those people who are having slow sales being opted in? And I may just try it on the other account since there's like smaller items anyway, just to see what happens with that. Let's see. Fierce Monkey.
That account has enough problems. Let's not add any more.
Well,
that thing, it's like, don't add any more.
Well, Fierce Monkey Biz says, now we're a dysfunctional duo. We sell everything as Fierce Monkey Biz, everything from dumpster dives to total estate buyouts. Wow. But as long as you're having fun with it,
as long as you're doing it and having fun and enjoying every minute of it.
Yes. And let's try to get some new folks in here. Roman says, I think if I will keep posting that kind of stuff on my Instagram, I'll get a visit from FBI or Secret Service or whatever.
Wait, what is your Instagram handle?
Christine Moses says, sorry, if this was already discussed, eBay sent me an email asking why I have opted out of international shipping program. Has anyone else received this one? I haven't, but I have heard other people receiving an email. And, I think it's a good idea just to be honest. If you've had some issues, like our sales came to just a stop. So, and that was for this account for 2 days. For the other account was like a week. And I said, no, forget this. We're just going to go back, and it's like a switch flipped like hours after I opted out. So I would give an honest assessment of it. I think it's a good program on its face. I just don't think it's implemented right. Yeah. There's still problems with it. Kyle B says, whenever I buy all my labels at once, my Ground Advantage is turning into media mail. So you're having that as well. So that's the glitch of the day, I guess. If you're running Ground Advantage, just be careful. Double check your labels to make sure they're not showing media mail. Yeah. Sir, no.
Don't.
Why? Is it?
It's inappropriate.
Did they?
Yes,
they hit the road. Okay.
Hit the road.
So we get some fun people that like to drop in here sometimes.
Yeah, it's just inappropriate.
Okay, we'll try this one. Tess cooks for you. My husband and I have been selling on eBay since late 1990s. We had to sign on with AOL.
Oh, my.
You got mail. Times have changed, but still selling. We could write a book. We appreciate your knowledge and opinions. Thank you. Anyone ever miss the sound of your dial-up modem, like linking to your computer?
No, I would have to go and turn it on, and it would do the, noises.
Yeah.
And I'd leave and walk away just to wait for it to connect.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
That was like, I think I had nightmares.
And then I had to share it. You had to share it with your family.
Let's see. Rich Colby says, same day is very difficult if you're shipping packages out with the carrier. I'm like you, I don't have time to be running up to the post office during the day. Could make the cutoff noon, I guess. Yeah, you can set any time you want, but I like to set the cutoff for an earlier time. So I set it for 9 a.m. Same day, 9 a.m. So same day, 9 a.m. eBay looks at it as same day. I guess I could go 6 a.m., but I figure I'm going to be shipping during that time anyway. So you might as well get your item. If you can buy it before 9, we'll ship it out. PG says USPS reclassified first class as standard shipping years ago and increased the transit time then. I do believe that's correct, because when you set up your policies in eBay, or at least when you had to before, that was considered more of a standard option. Steve says our post office closes at 3:15 after opening at 10 and taking an hour lunch.
Dang!
That's having seniority right there. That's a union job.
That is a union job all the way. Goodness
Jeff
gracious.
Zenick says, hi, John and Jenna and folks. Is there a way to find out if I accidentally listed the same item twice by mistake while ending auctions and sending similar? So there's a link. Go scroll up. There's a link that I posted, I'd say probably 15 minutes ago, that will allow you to click on it, and you can go in and search for duplicate listings.
They've already addressed it.
Yeah. Sawtooth Outpost says, my trip to the post office is 1.5 hours round trip. That's no good. I have 2-day handling and ship Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. My feedback's 95% of the time says how fast I ship, but don't feel like I can do 1 day shipping.
And for in your case, no way.
But can you get scheduled pickups?
Probably not in a rural area.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that sucks. I mean,
I don't know that I would love to live in a rural area. However, we couldn't function our business the way we do.
That's why I prefaced what I said with, I don't know each of your own situation. Everyone has a different situation. But if your situation isn't like that, and you live in an area, your post office is not too far away, you can schedule a daily pickup, doesn't cost anything for U.S. mail, then and you're doing this full time, I just don't see why, it would be a problem for most people to offer daily, same day shipping, or at the very worst 1 day.
But it's a cutoff time. You have to have
establish the cutoff
time.
You establish the cutoff in your business policy.
Like us is 9 a.m. 9 a.m. And if I'm still working, you could buy it at 10 a.m. and I'll keep on taping.
Picky Ricky says, I sold 6 yesterday and 5 today. If I had to do same day shipping, it's too much pressure for me to ship, source, and list at that rate. I mean, I don't know what you're selling either. I mean, if you're selling basic stuff that are very easy to pack, I don't know. Everyone's different. I mean, this is something you have to look at your own individual situation. No one's trying to shame anyone here at all. But if you're giving your best effort, if you have no more effort to give, then who am I to tell you that you're not? So only you can evaluate that.
There's really no rules in reselling. I mean, you have to live by your own set standards, and that's it.
Devon says, I tried to get my shipping ASAP unless they buy on Saturday, then it waits till Monday. Yeah. Biff, I offer 2-day, but tend to do 1 day, same day. I used to have lots of doctor's appointments to work around. I don't have as many now, but too scared to commit to next day. But I'm wondering if you did commit to next day or same day even, maybe give it a week and just see how much of an inconvenience or how badly it impacts everything else. So Jovial says, hi, John. Thank goodness it's Happy National Get Out of the Doghouse Day. That can't be right. But I'll take your word for it, I guess.
I don't know how.
Cassandra,
he better go get me a Dutch Bros.
I guess I'll have to now. Cassandra says you can use any priority mail box with Poshmark labels except for those express blue boxes. But you can't use the priority mail bubble mailers. You got to use a box of some sort. Yes, you can use the A and B regional boxes with regular priority mail labels, but the padded flat rate is still a thing, and you have to use the proper postage for that. Let's see. Stay home and shop or to shop. Medium mail. FYI, camera film needs to have special handling because it can be X-rayed or it will become ruined. And eBay for Business podcast has made an episode that explains this. So thank you for saying that. I didn't know that. But see, this is what I'm saying. We have these live streams and I'm always learning.
You guys are so smart.
Yeah. Meg says, FYI, Jenna, you can use the bubble mailers and other flat rate boxes with Poshmark labels, as long as they're under 5 pounds. I have the USPS Poshmark guidelines agreement somewhere with that info. I don't know if that's right.
Email me.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Ain't easy 2020.
I've been wrong before, but I don't know
for
about
easy
that.
access.
I gotta look that up. Is that what you're waiting for me to look at?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep going. There's more.
Oh, this is so great. I love this channel. J-Dub Retro from Poshmark. Poshmark uses USPS priority mail for U.S. orders. Orders can be shipped using boxes labeled priority mail, priority mail flat rate, and priority mail regional rate. Jenna wins, right? Okay, Jenna wins. You happy?
Uh-huh.
Jenna wins.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I have never made it clear.
That just cancels out my I was wrong.
I have never said this to anyone on this channel that I know everything. I do get things wrong, but I am not saying that this is right.
Okay.
I have to look it up myself. Nick
That's
Picker
fine.
says that buyer selected thing isn't actually what the buyer selected. It's actually just what eBay recommends. Also, in first class is selected and weight is entered over a pound, it has been defaulting to media. But it does say buyer selected.
Buyer selected.
Yeah, on there.
We don't ever listen to that, ever. I mean, if it so happens to be the cheapest price, then yes. But we will go, if they chose UPS or something like that, we will go with something else.
Too Tall says, where have I been sourcing? I can't give up that information. It's local, I can tell you that, and that's all I'm going to say. It's all I can say. It's like, I mean, look, guys, I want to be as helpful as I can to everyone here, but the last thing anyone should do when they're selling on eBay is telling the world where they're getting stuff, because then it's no longer good anymore. That makes sense, right? I learned that lesson when I was talking about Costco pallets, and I bought a Costco pallet from B-Stock. And I made that video, and I was getting, I think that was like my third pallet at a really good price up to that point. And then I was never able to buy another one again because the prices went way up. So I just can't. Hopefully you can understand.
Thank you, Meg.
Rich Colby says, has anyone noticed an issue trying to authorize a perfectly good debit card as your payment method for eBay? There is nothing wrong with mine and it won't work, but checking will. Reported, but eBay. I don't see why. I mean, I can tell you I have my debit card linked to my bank account. I think I have my payment method as a debit card and my bank as my deposit method. And I don't involve credit cards at all in that process. Rosie Games says, hi, John and Jenna.
Hi,
great
Rosie.
Video yesterday. Very informative. I hope you two have a great week. Well, thank you, Rosie. Thanks for being here.
We hope you have a fantabulous week.
Yes. John Gaynor says, hi, Jenna and John. Jonna and Jen. Sounds like Jenna needs to start a union in the shipping department of Flippin' Ain't Easy for more right. AC and assign what to use in shipping.
That is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I want to do
Let's
AC
assume
unit.
that it's right, but you got today's wrong. I'm sorry, honey. You got today's wrong. You did. But it's okay. I forgive you. We saved $4.
You don't know that. You don't know.
I put the
You're
label.
You're going to read your email from Meg when we get off this live.
You brought me that nice little pair of shoes in a bubble mailer for eBay. Actually, you give it to me in a box.
You ruined the last, but you have to place an order with Gyropack.
Why?
Because that was wasn't it in the blue mailer?
No, it was in a box, an eBay box.
Oh, that's right.
It was in an eBay standard shipping box.
Okay, all right.
And it's 2 pounds, and it fit in the bubble envelope. Yes, we're done. Let's move on.
Even Kelly Deb says I was right.
You're right. Let's see. Jovial says, Lord have mercy. Use the get out of the doghouse card today. I am invoking the doghouse card right now. So I am out. Thank you.
He will only be able to get that reprieve if he goes to Dutch Bros.
Blended Family Works before Jenna. Jeez. Oh boy.
Thank you, Chris.
PSG Parcel Select Ground. The upgrade works for Ground Advantage also. It gets the package there quicker. The buyer loves it. Well, I just
or should I say Janie Marie? Thank you.
Who?
The one right above that.
Here?
Yeah.
Chris Wiley?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Jenny, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's see. Nick Esposito. I also tried out eBay International Shipping for a week, and I got no sales. Opted out right after the sales back to normal. Weird. I don't know.
Back to Mike's.
What? Which one?
Were you done? I'm sorry. I was
on.
really interrupting
I am really just trying to get to everyone if I can. Oh. So I'm sorry I don't seem like I'm attentive, but I really think it's important. If you guys are going to take time to comment, I'm going to take time to try to say hi to you. Like Dean. Hello, all. Thanks for being here, Dean. Appreciate you for being here. What's this cardboard cut? Oh, yes, as a hazard of reselling.
It happens to me,
but
way too often.
I think John would be a lot more relieved to cut his finger than to have someone get very, very hurt on the job.
Yes. True.
Let's see. Chastity says eBay sent me an invitation to allow them to remotely view how I list using the mobile app. Don't think I'll accept.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. No. I mean, what? I mean, I would never do that. I could tell you they'd probably, I don't know what they do, but it wouldn't be good, at least for me. Anytime Picker Roman says, Archie told me that if I get sponsored by AOL, my channel will take off instantly. I used to get all those 80-year-olds that are still using dial-up. Yeah, that's for sure. Sawtooth Outpost, UPS and FedEx don't even come here. Pick up USPS at a box 10 miles from my house. Wow.
You still even have to go 10 miles away.
Horrible.
That's awful.
I mean, you might like it. I'm sure it's peaceful.
I'm sure it's very peaceful. I would not mind living in a place like that. However, maybe it'll have to be in 10 years.
Roman. Archie, I'm still trying to log into my Space account to see if I got a message from 20 years ago.
Maybe you could find a girl.
Or that old girlfriend that he's been trying to locate for years. Yeah. Craig Winan says, better to have 3-day shipping and send as soon as possible than promise one day and have something mess it up. Yeah, I think that's true.
True, but we don't have,
but that's
unless something dire happens. Okay, let me knock on wood. Unless something dire happens, we're shipping this within 24 hours.
But again, that's your situational. That's a situational issue.
Yeah.
So look, how are you spending your day? Is it just busy? I'm working a full-time job. I come home and I do this. I got kids that run around the house. It's impossible. This gives me the time I need. But if you're doing this full-time, this is part of your process. And, I get a lot of people that are, saying how their sales are down, but it's obvious based on some of the things that some of these people say that they're not doing every little thing they can to improve that situation. And this is just one little thing. And I think that it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but if you're thinking as a buyer, again, your buyer is looking at that and they're making a decision based on how long it's going to take for them to get that item. That stranger says, I didn't really understand being able to set a cutoff time for the same day. Think I'm going to change to same day from one day since I ship same day up to a certain time anyway. Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. Mm-hmm. I changed that about a couple years ago and I haven't looked back.
Yeah. It works really well. And it just, you know what you're doing. Like your schedule doesn't change. If he changes that time on me and doesn't tell me, which he does a lot of, then I will be up the creek without a paddle.
Sylvia says, my husband put air conditioning on my garage and doesn't work for 2 garage space.
Yeah, our air conditioning unit that's in the garage, it's not very good. It maybe works for 5 feet in front of it. And even then, it's like last night, it started blowing hot air. And I'm like, what in the heck is this? Mm-hmm. And I said, we're going to have to get a new one.
So Andy says, doghouse has air conditioning. Oh, boy.
Well, not ours.
No, I've never really needed a doghouse. John Doe says, I have 5 honey pots. I might need one after this live stream. John Doe says, I have 5 honey pots in my rural area, but they don't provide enough to make a comfortable living. Garage sales are still my best sources. And yeah. Trust me, garage sales are still on the radar. I just haven't, especially with it being so hot.
With this heat, nobody's doing garage sales.
On Sunday, I was going to the store and I was on the way back. I had groceries in the back, but here's this big sign, like about a block from the house, yard sale. But it's like 1 o'clock, 115 degrees. I'm like, there's no way these people are going to have anything out. So I didn't even bother to look. But I thought better with the stuff I had in the back anyway. But yard sales are on my radar. Rich Colby says, speaking of thinking like a buyer, I have my storefront bookmarked and often check it to make sure of what my buyers are seeing. I highly recommend others do the same.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
But that's account maintenance. And again, I think there's a lot of people that think, because a lot of channels tell them to do this, list your 30, 40 items in a day and get your shipping done. And pretty much that's all it's talked about. So that's all they think they should be doing. And then they wonder why items have been sitting in their store for months. You've got to go back and look at how your items look to see and try to figure out. I think, by doing eBay for all these years, we kind of develop private investigator skills, right? We have to try to figure out behind the scenes why things are working the way they are, just so we can get our items sold. And the folks that figure it out and take the time to figure out are probably going to have a better chance to get those items sold than people who don't. Let's see. Andy says, my driveway is 660 feet long and I'm only, it's going to cover your mouth. You're yawning. You're yawning. I just going to cover your mouth. My driveway is 660 feet long and I'm 5 acres, but not so great in winter. I couldn't imagine doing this in the winter. It would be very tough, I think, as far as having snow and all that stuff. That would be very, very difficult.
I don't think I could live in snow no matter what I was doing.
Sawtooth says, I travel for my inventory, try to do big buys at a time or do big thrift trips. Yeah. Also do some consignment, but that can be tricky. Yeah. We haven't really had to travel for inventory. We used to when we lived in California. We traveled out here. But yeah, that's not easy. Good excuse to go to the casinos, I guess, and stay, a couple nights out in Vegas, though. The left wing says eBay currently is rocking, payouts moving swiftly, responding quickly to questions from potential buyers using as much detail as possible. List honestly, all will fall into place. Yes. Yep. I agree with that.
Agreed.
So I think, oh yeah, JP opened up an eBay store and just became a top-rated plus seller. It helps. Well, congratulations on that.
Congrats.
Now just keep your metrics good, and there's nothing wrong with constantly checking on your metrics to make sure that you're top rated. And there's a little thing under there saying, if we were to evaluate you today, what would you fall under? Make sure that says it's top rated. If it says something else, then that's kind of a warning, and you need to start working to fix that. Maybe contact eBay to try to figure out why you're about to fall off. So just something to keep an eye on. But guys, we're almost at the 2-hour mark, and we're going to cut it here. I'm going to go get myself out of the doghouse and go get some Dutch Bros coffee. It's one of those days I think I need a Frappuccino kind of thing anyway. But dealing with this Ground Advantage thing with USPS, it's promising. I'm thinking that it's going to be a very viable option for many resellers. And, throw in the fact that they're giving you free $100 of insurance anyway. It's kind of a no-brainer, but trying to figure all that out and how it's going to work out into your sales is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent start to your week.
We will be live on Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Thursday.
6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. On
Thursday, not Friday.
Right.
We will be driving to California.
Yeah. So we will have videos coming out throughout the week, but I want you guys to have an excellent week.
Have a great
those sales,
week.
guys.
We love you.